Are you an otaku who is at their limits? Well, then you might be a genkai otaku. And I say might because genkai otaku is a very, very simple phrase, but one that has two quite distinct meanings, so let's jump into it. The exact origins of this term are a little bit obscure. There are some people that say it came from a 2chan thread that was posted around 2003, where some kind of otaku at the end of something screamed genkai. In another case, from Pixiv here, there is apparently an origin text, which is the opposite. It's someone on a train seeing some otaku that are acting in a very cringe manner, and the person screams, "I am at my limits," using genkai. But there's no question the word was in use by around 2004. Here's a person using it. Ignore that hardcore otaku translation for a while. That's not accurate. We'll get into that. And Google Trends makes it very clear that it popped off around 2016, seeing sustained and increasing use until 2021 or so, and then decreasing but still being, actively used. So when a website like this lists it under a category of things that if a teacher says to their students, the students will be like, "Yo, that's not hip. You're old school, daddy-o." It's far from like a dead term. Initially then, referring to someone as a genkai otaku was kind of like calling them a cringe lord. Just like in the Pixiv text I showed earlier, you saw otaku behaving in a manner that was so cringe it put you at your limits. So it's like a synonym of calling somebody itai with ita written in katakana. So for instance, when this person in 2015 is using it to refer to an outfit, they mean that the outfit is a little cringe. This use from late 2015 also directly uses it to critique someone's Twitter profile as being, hard to look at. For reasons I don't really understand, but probably have something to do with the fact that they like anime, I guess. This person uses it to complain about the behavior of otaku at Hub, but going to Hub and then critiquing other people is, that's a bit genkai in my opinion. There goes a potential sponsorship. And yes, some otaku early on were using it in a self-referential way to acknowledge that what they're doing is, a little cringe. Like this person here, watching a live event on their TV, or honestly, tens of posts where a bunch of otaku get together with other otaku and recognize that they're all a bit, otaku. So in these uses, again, a very simple and I think pretty equivalent translation is calling yourself a cringe lord, when recognizing that you're doing something that other people would find incredibly nerdy. Like you and me now, spending our precious time on Earth discussing Japanese slang. As time went on though, genkai otaku developed a secondary meaning which was neutral if not positive, to refer to a otaku who is at their genkai. That is not referring to the cringe, or as Japanese people say, the pain of somebody looking at an otaku who is being too otaku, but rather an otaku who is so delighted by something that they have reached their limit and therefore lose the ability to speak or think in a rational fashion. For whatever reason, 2023 is when a lot of websites started to talk about genkai otaku and note this change in its meaning. And one of them, Ogi, was prototypical positive genkai otaku behaviors as things like having your mind go completely blank when you meet your oshi at a handshake event, buying too many things to support your oshi even though you don't have the money, thinking, "Oh, so cute, so wonderful," when your oshi does something that is objectively pretty uninteresting, like the example they give is drinking water, or even just using genkai otaku in parentheses like a reaction, as you can see someone doing in real life here. Although do note that people do this as well to refer to the cringe meaning, as in this person noting that the shirt they're going to wear in the town is one that may cause people a little bit of pain if they see it. It's tricky to know when exactly this change first occurred because doing so involves going through hundreds of examples of posts on Twitter and trying to find one that has enough context to prove the person is using it in the "I am an otaku and my brain has shattered based on how happy I am" meaning, but I can find one by at least 2016, or within a year or two probably of the word really exploding on the internet. In 2025 though, it's not hard at all to find positive uses like this person obsessing over Teletubbies, which I didn't know that anyone would do that, but okay. This otaku is so happy that they're at their limit. Here's someone using it to talk about taking a model train to a train. If you're like, "Wes, wait a minute, some of those I think might just be people recognizing that what they do is a little bit cringe." Well, here's somebody that is very clearly using it to mean that they had such a good time at a live event that they basically lost the ability to be a rational human. Or as Pixiv says, threw away their human dignity. One quick rant though, if the translation of fangirl here is actually pretty good, I'd like to take this opportunity, because it's my channel, to rant about the fact that all these translation softwares seem to immediately assume the gender of speakers when it's not listed. So if you, for some reason, are someone who programs these things, please tell them to cut it out. Yeah, I know. The fact that I care about this and I'm willing to pause the video and make time about it makes me a total genkai otaku, but I never pretended that I'm not. If you want to make it clear though that you or someone else is a genkai otaku in the positive sense, one common way that people do this is by verbing it or noting that someone changes into a genkai otaku. From what I can tell, when people use phrases like this, they're almost always using it in the positive, "so happy that you've lost your ability to do normal human things" meaning. We said that earlier with genkai otaku ni naru phrasing, but other common phrasings include genkai otaku to kasuru, or to change into. Indeed, you can drop the to and just create genkai otaku kasuru. And there are other fun variants that kind of have the same meaning. Genkai otaku shiko, or otaku at their limit thought process, is used to specifically note that your brain is shorting out. Your otakuness or love for your oshi is causing you to think stupid things, such as this person believing that they could pick up their oshi despite that they weigh 60 kilograms. And my favorite, genkai ka fukahi, or changing into genkai is inescapable, is also used a bit, as in this person who cannot help losing their mind at seeing some, shiny cards. There's also the wonderful Genkai Ensei, which means that somebody is a otaku who is willing to spend a lot of time and money going to events that are quite far away from where they are, hence Ensei or expedition. Adorably, the people that do this actually refer to themselves as Genkai Ensei Min, or literally translate the limit expeditioners, which is, it's just cute as heck. With that, I've reached the limit of what I can explain about this, also probably the limit of your patience, so let's just call that the Genkai for this here.